Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. R.K. Verma, retired from CSR NISCARE as Chief Scientist. Today I will talk on the topic of digitization and computerization. The main sections which I will cover will be objectives of digitization, its need, benefits, digitization as a process, the steps of digitization, and then computerization part will cover what are the various file formats and media types, what are the scanning and digital software, lastly planning and management, and challenges and problems. So first of all, what is digitization? Digitization is the process of converting the content of physical media, for example, books, articles, manuscripts, photographs, etc., into digital format. The contents of digital document can be manipulated and compressed for further storage. One of the most important characteristics of digital information is that it is not fixed in the way the texts are printed on a paper. Flexibility is one of the main plus points of digital information. Digital information can be made accessible from remote location simultaneously by a large number of users. Optical scanners and digital cameras are used to digitize images by translating them into bitmaps. And then similarly, it is also possible to digitize sound, video, graphics and animations, etc. The objectives of digitization, let us start with this. They differ from organization to organization. First, this I have to understand. But the main objective is to improve the access. Other objectives may include preservation, cost saving, information sharing, and keeping up to date with technology. There are various reasons for converting a document into digital format. For example, the objective of digitization, availability of finances, and users, etc. Other reasons may be multiple referencing, wide area usage, qualitative preservation, archival storage, and security measure. Then, talking about the needs and benefits, digitization makes the document more useful and more accessible. It is possible for a user to conduct a full text search on a document that is digitized and OC read. A reader can create hyperlinks to related items within the text itself, as well as to external resources. One of the main benefits of digitization is to preserve rare and fragile objects by enhancing their access to multiple users simultaneously. Digitization as process. It is a lengthy process. Various steps are, and first one, major one is selection. The selection of documents needs to be reviewed very carefully, taking into consideration the various important factors like quality, utility, cost, and security. The selection criteria should be rare and much in demand documents and images as top most priority even at the cost of poor quality. In this step, the IPR issues, that is intellectual property rights, should be addressed. One may have to get permission from the publishers and may also involve negotiation and payment of copyright fees if applicable. Selected documents for digitization may already be available in digital form and is always economical and appropriate to buy e-media. The type and nature of document, for example, whether the same is in a bad shape, oversized material, a manuscript, bound volume of journal, etc., would need a highly specialized equipment and skilled manpower. And further, the documents to be digitized may include simple text, line art, photographs, color images, etc. Then come the steps of scanning. In this process of scanning, the image is read that is scanned at a predefined dynamic range and resolution. The resulting file, called bitmap image, is formatted and tagged for storage and subsequent retrieval by the software package used for scanning. Electronic scanners are used for getting an electronic image into computer from its original. Steps in the process of scanning. Within the scanning, the various steps can be enumerated as: a picture is placed on the scanner's glass, scanner software is started, area to be scanned is selected, the image type is chosen, the image is sharpened, image size is set, and the scanned image is saved using a design.
Let me tell you the very important step in the process of digitization, that is indexing. The indexing process involves linking of the database of scanned images to a text database. An imaging system typically stores a large amount of unstructured data in a two-file system for storing and retrieving scanned images. The first is a traditional file that has a text description of the image, that is keywords or descriptors, as you know, along with the key to second file. The second file contains the document location. The user selects a record from the first file using a search algorithm. Once the user selects a record, the application program keys into the location index, finds the document and displays it. Most of the document imaging software packages, through their menu-driven or command-driven interface, facilitate elaborate indexing of documents. While some document management systems, that is DMS, facilitate selection of indexing terms from the image file, others allow only manual inputting of indexing terms. Further, many DMS packages provide optical character recognition, that is OCR read capabilities for transforming the images into standard ASCII files. The OCR read text then serves as a database for full text search of the stored images.
Then next step is storing. The scanned images need to be transferred from the hard disk of scanning workstation to an external large capacity storage devices such as optical disk, CD-ROM, DVD-ROM disk, snap servers, etc. While the smaller document imaging system may use offline media which need to be reloaded when required, or fixed hard disk drives allocated for image storage. Larger document management systems use auto changers such as optical jukeboxes and tape library systems. The storage required by the second images varies and depends upon factors such as scanning resolution, page size, compression ratio, and page content. Further, the image storage device may be either remote or local to the retrieval workstation depending upon the imaging system and document management system used.
As you are aware and maybe knowing that in the library science area, indexing, storage and retrieval, these are the main topics or concepts which are very fundamental to all sort of information flow in the area, and digitization is not an exception. Here also, after indexing, storage is done and retrieving is the ultimate purpose. When you store information, naturally if you first you index, then store, then retrieve. That is the sequence. So let me tell about retrieving step in this process. A document imaging system typically uses at least two files to store and retrieve documents. The first is a traditional file having text description of the image along with a key to the second file. The second file contains the document location. The user selects a record from the first file using a search algorithm. When the user selects a record, the application program keys into the location index, finds the document and displays it. Most of the document management system provide elaborate search possibilities, including Boolean, that you may be aware, and or not, proximity operators, and wildcards. Users are also allowed to refine their search strategy. Once the required image have been identified, their associated document image can quickly be retrieved from the image storage device for display or for getting output in print form.
There are some basic approaches of digitization. Basically, there are 4 approaches that can be adopted to convert from print to digital medium. First one is image only scanning. Second one is retaining page layout and optical character recognition. Third one is retaining page layout using Acrobat capture, and finally rekeying the data. Image only scanning, here cost-wise image only option is the lowest. In this option, each page becomes exact as replica of the original source document. Several digital library projects are concerned with providing digital access to materials that already exist in printed media in traditional libraries. Then, retaining page layout and optical character recognition have some equipments, for example Xerox text bridge, and carries OmniPage, which include technology that allow the option of retaining text and graphics in their original layout, as well as word processing and plain ASCII formats. Here the output can also include HTML with attributes like bold, underline and italics, which are retained. Retaining layout after optical character recognition. In these programs, a software tool is used to transform scanned textual page images into word processing file. OCR as text recognition includes the process of electronically identifying text in a bitmapped image or set of images, which can generate a file containing that text in ASCII code or in a specified word processing format with the intact image in the process. The scanned documents are referred to by their labels rather than characters in the documents. Retaining page layout using Acrobat capture. This provides various options for retaining not only the page layout but also the fonts and to fit text into the exact space occupied by the original. In this way, the scanned and OCR read copy never under or overshoot the page. Accordingly, it treats unidentified or unrecognizable text as images that are pasted in its place. Such images are perfectly readable by anyone while looking at the PDF file, but no editable and searchable file is possible. Contrary to this, ordinary OCR programs treat unrecognized text similar to wild characters or some other special characters in the ASCII output. Acrobat capture can be used to scan pages in 3 ways: as images plus text, and as normal PDF. All of these 3 options retain page layout. Then lastly comes the rekeying. The best solution in rekeying includes keying in the data and its verification. This involves a complete keying of the text followed by a full rekeying by a different operator. The 2 keying in operations might take place simultaneously. The 2 keyed files are compared and any errors or inconsistencies are corrected. When we come over to the next major component, that is computerization. File formats and media types. The file format is nothing but an arrangement for discrete set of data that allow a computer and software to interpret the data. Formats and encoding used for text and image-based contents of a digital library can be stored and presented as simple text or ASCII, that is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Structured text, HTML or HTML or XML. Unstructured text, page description language, and page image formats. Simple text or ASCII. Simple text or ASCII is the most commonly used encoding scheme used for facilitating exchange of data from one software to another or from one platform to another. Structured text format captures the essence of documents by marking up the text so that the original form could be recreated or even produce other forms like ASCII. Structured text formats have provision for embed images, graphics, and other multimedia formats in the text. Standard Generalized Markup Language, that is SGML, is one of the most important and popular structured text format. Page Description Language, that is PDL, such as Adobe's PostScript and PDF portable document format are similar to image, but the formatted pages displayed to the user are text-based rather than image-based. PostScript and PDF formats can easily be captured during the typesetting process. PostScript is especially easy to capture since most of the system automatically generate it, and conversion program called Acrobat Distiller can be used to convert PostScript file into PDF files. Then Acrobat's portable document format, that is PDF, is a byproduct of PostScript, Adobe-based description language, which has become the standard way to inscribe pages electronically in the graphic world. While PostScript is a programming language, PDF is a page description format only. PDF can have two formats, text-based PDF that uses outline font technology or PostScript PDL page description language from Adobe to describe format of a page. Raster scanned image PDF. Without the text output of OCR, the image PDF is essentially equivalent to TIFF or CCIDT G4 formats or to a photograph where text characters cannot be manipulated by the computer. In this process, scanned image is replaced by the next with fonts and layouts matching with the scanned document. Page image format. The digitally scanned images are stored in a file as a bitmapped page image, irrespective of the fact whether a scanned page contains a text, line drawing, or a photograph. The bitmapped page image can be created in many different formats depending upon the scanner and its software. These are certain national and international standards for image file formats and compression methods to ensure that data is interchangeable amongst systems. An image file format consists of three different components, that is, a header which stores information in file identifier and image specification, then image data consisting of lookup table and image raster, and footer that signals file termination information. Lastly, while bitmapped portion of a raster image is standardized, it is the file header that differentiates one format from another. Then comes the tagged image file format, that is TIFF. It is the most commonly used page image file format and is considered to be the de facto standard for bitonal images. Some image formats are proprietary developed by commercial vendors and require specific software or hardware for display and printing. Images can be colored, grayscale, or black and white, called bitonal. They can be uncompressed, raw, or compressed using several different compression algorithms. Then we come to the important component, that is scanning software. For scanning the image and capturing the same in the computer, this scanning software is used. Generally, this software is provided by the manufacturer of the product to the buyers. Following are some of the applications mostly in practice. That is digitization of audio and video. The analog type of soundtracks which we generally listen from radio or tape recorders can be digitized by attaching an audio player to a system. As you know, it is done through the audio capture card so as to record the sound to the system. The audio files are saved as MP3, MIDI and WAV, etc. These audio files can be further processed using noise reduction software. Like audio or video capture also requires a video capture card with input from video cassette player, that is VCP or VCR, TV antenna, cable or moving camera, etc. The digitized files can be saved as MPG, MOV and AVI file.
As you know, The topic of this module is digitization and computerization. You may be thinking the two aspects, major aspects are there. One is digitization and computerization, as your name implies. But what does computerization mean here? Computerization means whatever software part and some hardware part is related with digitization applications, only those are covered. The one of the major applications is in the digitization process steps is its scanning software, which are very large number of scanning softwares available in the market. So whatever software is used for digitization, some of the basic components still remain there. For example, this image editing applications. Once you process scanning of image, when this step is over, the same is available in the computer. The image editing applications can be used for further manipulation. For example, most image software offer features like image editing, cropping, color adjustments, forms, conversion, resizing, sharpening, filtering, etc. Most image editing softwares can also be used for capturing the images. The second part of this is how to organize the digital images. Scanned images need to be organized so that the same are useful. You cannot use them as it is. Otherwise, a disk full of digital images without any organization, browse and search options have no meaning except for the information on the one who created it. Apart from this, the images need to be linked to the associated metadata so as to facilitate their browsing and searching.
Then we will consider some of the digital library softwares. There are several digital library software which are currently available like Dspace, Greenstone Digital Library, GSTL, ePrints, Fedora, etc., which are available freely for download on the internet. A brief description of salient features of some of the common digital library softwares available in public domain are given as below. Dspace. This software captures, stores, indexes, preserves and redistributes the intellectual output of university research faculty into digital formats. Dspace accepts all forms of digital materials, including text, images, video and audio files. Possible content includes papers and preprints, conference papers, technical reports, working papers, that is e-thesis, data sets, that is statistical and geospatial, etc., images like visual and scientific, etc., audio files, video files, learning objects and reformatted digital library collections. And lastly, the back-end technologies used in this Dspace are Apache, Tomcat, OpenSSL, MOD SSL, Java 1.3, JSP 1.2, Servlet 2.3, then Postgre, SQL 7, JDBC, RDBMS, CNRI, Handle System 5, Persistent IDS, and Lucene 1.2, Index or Search. ePrints. ePrints was developed in the Intelligent Agents Multimedia Group at the Electronics and Computer Science Department of University of Southampton with its origin in the scholarly communication movement. ePrint default configuration is geared to research papers, but it can be adapted to other purposes and content. GNU ePrints is freely distributed to the GNU General Public License. GNU ePrints 2.x is a free software which creates online archives. The URL is http://software.eprints.org. The default configuration creates a research paper archive. Then comes the Greenstone Digital Library with the URL greenstone.org. This software is produced by the New Zealand Digital Library Project at the University of Waikato and distributed in cooperation with UNESCO and the Humanities Library Project. Greenstone Digital Library is an open source software available under the terms of GNU General Public License. It has the ability to serve digital library collections and build new collections. It provides a new way of organizing information and publishing it in the internet or on CD-ROM.
One of the major issues in digitization is how to go about this, how to implement this. There is a practice of digitization in almost every library nowadays, but from librarian point of view, how to plan it and manage it, that is most important. So there are some points which I would like to share, and you have to take care of that so that there is no problem after the process is over in digitization. As you know, digitization is a highly specialized and cost intensive activity and is the first step towards building a digital library. It may require input from various branches of knowledge. It means that the purpose, objectives and needs of digitization are determined clearly. You have to ensure this. So the digitization proposal should define its goal, scope, benefits, costs, time span, implementation issues, deliverables and target users. Depending on the solution, it may be desirable to continue with traditional collections and at the same time to acquire collection in digital media. Other options may be to buy access to electronic resources and develop library portals or subject gateways instead of undertaking digitization project. This strategy would save the cost and efforts on digitization and other recurring administrative costs. Once a decision for digitization is finalized, due consideration and importance should be given to factors like reusability, sustenance, verification, interoperability, documentation both for user as well as for the developer. Some of the prerequisites for planning and management. For careful planning of digital in various steps may include: number one, the feasibility study. We have to estimate its importance or what is the requirement, what are the modalities. Then you have to plan the project in a formal way. Then there may be issues on library automation package which to be used, hardware and software planning. Human resource planning is also important, how much staff in outsource or whether in-house. Financial planning, purchase of hardware and software, selection of material for digitization and born digital, then placement and training of manpower and content creation, and lastly the execution of the project itself.
The last component of this lesson is the challenges and problems faced in this digitization process. The most significant challenges in planning and execution of digitization project relate to technical limitations, budgetary constraints, copyright consideration, lack of policy guidelines, and lastly, the selection of materials for digitization. Other important issues and problems relate to the selection process, preparation of the materials, cooperation with the publishing sector, the specification for the digitization itself, research into improvement of optical character recognition (OCR), research into several file formats to reduce the cost of storage, automatic quality control mechanisms, new language-based techniques for search and retrieval, the detailed preservation of the files, and the technical infrastructure to support all these aspects. Now we conclude this lesson by saying that there is a better balance between quality, quantity and cost, which has to be struck if library is wished to digitize on a large scale. Digitization processes have to become more efficient, and the only way to do this is to limit expectations and not try to be perfect at all costs. Thank you.
Dear students, let us now summarize whatever we have discussed today. The major topics which I have covered, apart from the process and steps for digitization and some technical features of computerization part with the softwares, the one of the main issue for the librarian point of view is planning and management. You see, in the libraries there is the major problem how to go about digitization, what are the alternatives, what is the economically viable step or option to implement that. I hope you have more insight into this topic, and that will be useful to you.